Picture walking into a Target store next week and finding shelves completely stripped of batteries. That is exactly what Sarah in Phoenix faced last Tuesday. She needed a pack of AA batteries for her child's toy and found none at all. There wasn't a single package available. The store manager quietly admitted that their delivery had been delayed for 3 weeks. Even worse, they had no idea when the next shipment would show up. But here's the twist. This problem isn't limited to Phoenix. I've been receiving reports from people in Dallas, Chicago, Atlanta, and even smaller towns across Ohio, all describing the same shortage. Everyday essentials are disappearing almost overnight. Specialists in supply chains are forecasting a sharp 33% decline in imports, and shoppers are already seeing the first wave of impact. Over the last 3 weeks, I carried out an unusual investigation. I phoned 500 stores around the country pretending to be a bulk buyer. The things managers told me privately were shocking. One Target manager from Denver said, and I quote, "We are told not to say anything, but truthfully, in my 15 years here, I have never seen such low levels of stock for basic necessities." End quote. Now think about this. At this very moment, shipping containers loaded with items you rely on every single day are stuck at ports. Importers simply cannot afford to pay the newly imposed 145% tariffs on goods coming from China. Picture your toothbrush, your cleaning sprays, your children's school supplies, all locked away inside steel containers sitting just miles from the shore. Here's the thought that keeps me awake at night. The average household only has about 2 weeks' worth of basic goods stored away. But experts expect these shortages to last for months, not a few days. So what will happen when your soap runs out, your batteries drain, your cleaning supplies are gone, and the stores have nothing to replace them with? But don't panic just yet, because in the next 18 minutes, I am going to reveal the exact 20 household products that supply chain insiders are secretly storing away for their families. On top of that, I'll show you underground storage techniques that survivalists usually keep to themselves. Stay tuned, because when I get to item number 14, I'll expose something you use every single morning that is about to cost more than your monthly coffee bill. And you will definitely want to hear the private exchange I had with a major manufacturer who admitted that rationing has already started. Now let's get into the items disappearing first, beginning with one that can leave you in total darkness. Item 1. Batteries. The silent crisis. Imagine it's 11 p.m. on a stormy Tuesday night in Milwaukee. Jessica's power suddenly cuts out, plunging the home into complete darkness. Her 3 kids are frightened and crying. She grabs a flashlight from the kitchen drawer, presses the button, but nothing happens. The batteries are dead. She frantically searches every junk drawer, every cupboard, even her car's glove box. She cannot find a single working battery anywhere. This is not a fictional story. A Reddit user shared this very situation last month. She wrote, "My family sat in darkness for 6 hours because I never thought to check our emergency supplies. The helpless feeling of not being able to protect my kids is something I'll never forget." That post received more than 12,000 upvotes. Item 2. Cleaning supplies. The hidden shortage. Let's talk about another category that is quietly slipping away. Cleaning products. This shortage is more severe than most people imagine. Here is the startling truth. Producers of surfactants and preservatives, 2 key ingredients in nearly all cleaning goods, are facing massive production delays. A report published in 2025 revealed that 60% of these chemicals are imported from overseas facilities now dealing with serious labor shortages. I went to 3 grocery stores in one afternoon to check for myself. Dawn dish soap, which usually fills 6 rows deep on the shelves, was down to just 2 bottles. Lysol wipes were completely sold out in 2 of the stores. Prices for bleach had climbed 18% compared to the previous month. Here's an inside detail my contact at a major distribution center shared with me. Manufacturers of cleaning products are quietly altering their formulas. The reason is simple. They can't get the usual ingredients they rely on. The smartest step you can take now is to stock up on multi-purpose cleaners, bleach, dish soap, laundry detergent, and disinfectant wipes. Choose concentrated products whenever possible because they last much longer. They give you more value for your money and take up far less space when stored. Here's a storage mistake that many people make. Never leave liquid cleaners in areas with extreme temperatures. While the garage might seem like a convenient option, the summer heat can actually destroy the active ingredients. Here's a budget-friendly trick. You can make your own multi-purpose cleaner using simple white vinegar mixed with dish soap. It performs just as effectively as expensive brands, and the ingredients are still widely available. Item 3. Paper products. The toilet paper comeback. Think back to the toilet paper shortage of 2020. Get ready, because we might be entering a repeat, but this time it's hitting all paper-based goods. Industry manufacturing reports highlight a disastrous combination: severe weather-damaging pulp mills, worker strikes disrupting operations at major plants, and packaging shortages slowing production even further. An insider in the supply chain world recently told me that the availability of paper products could drop by 25% over the next 3 months. And this isn't just toilet paper. It includes paper towels, tissues, napkins, and even printer paper. Big box retailers aren't openly admitting it, but they've already started quietly limiting how many paper products shoppers can buy. A Costco manager near me confirmed that bulk purchases are being restricted, although the store hasn't made any public announcement yet. What makes this situation worse is that packaging materials themselves are in short supply. Even if paper is available, manufacturers can't always get the plastic wrapping or cardboard boxes needed for shipping. A prepper I spoke with shared a lesson learned the hard way. Don't just stockpile toilet paper. Spread out your supplies by adding paper towels, tissues, napkins, and even paper plates. These items can be used in multiple ways when shortages strike. A clever storage method is to roll toilet paper and paper towel packages vertically and store them under beds or in closets. They take up surprisingly little room that way. Just be sure to keep them dry and away from moisture. Item 4. Personal care products. The hygiene crisis. Now we need to cover an area nobody wants to run out of: personal hygiene essentials. And unfortunately, the warning signs are already everywhere. The truth is that 70% of the raw ingredients for these items are imported from overseas. Recent shipping logs reveal a 33% drop in container arrivals at major U.S. ports. This means basics like toothpaste, soap, and shampoo could become much more expensive, or even unavailable. I've been monitoring prices at top retailers, and the numbers are startling. Toothpaste prices have risen 12% since December. Shampoo has climbed 15%. Deodorant is even worse, jumping up to 20% in certain markets. What's even more troubling is that many of these products use chemicals now restricted under new import policies. A contact at a large pharmacy chain confided that shipments of big-name brands are already delayed. The smart step right now is to stock up on essentials such as toothpaste, toothbrushes, shampoo, soap, deodorant, and any prescription products you rely on. Prioritize items that have a long shelf life and avoid trendy short-term products that could vanish completely. Here's an insider tip. Generic store label versions are usually produced in the same facilities as the brand name goods. They're often 30 to 40% cheaper while being nearly identical in quality. For storage, a pharmacist advised keeping personal care items in their original packaging and storing them in a cool, dark location. Believe it or not, your bathroom cabinet isn't ideal because the constant changes in humidity can shorten shelf life. Item 5. Plastic bags and storage. The hidden essential. This is one category that people rarely think about, yet it's about to face major disruptions. Supply chain updates show the plastic industry under intense pressure. Rising oil costs are driving up the price of raw materials. Strict environmental rules are shutting down packaging plants, and overseas shipping delays are slowing supply lines even further. During my research, I uncovered a concerning fact. Large retailers are already receiving 40% fewer shipments of storage bags, freezer bags, and plastic containers from their suppliers. And it's not limited to food storage. This shortage covers trash bags, vacuum seal storage bags, and even those everyday sandwich bags people often take for granted. Price tracking reports show that these items have already increased 22% in just the past month. And industry specialists are forecasting another 35% price jump by spring. The reason is simple. The same raw materials used in food packaging are also required for manufacturing car components, medical supplies, and many other essentials. The smart shopping approach is to buy variety packs of storage bags. Different sizes come in handy for different tasks. Gallon bags for storing leftovers, quart bags for sandwiches, snack size for small portions, and a selection of trash bags in multiple capacities. A professional organizer shared a great tip. Keep storage bags in their original boxes and stack them flat. This way, they take up almost no space, and you can instantly see what you have on hand. Another clever prepper hack is to use vacuum storage bags, which can shrink clothing and bedding by up to 75%. Perfect for saving space in cramped storage areas. Item 6. Medications and first aid. The health emergency. Now we come to an area that could truly mean the difference between life and death. Medicine and basic first aid. This is far more serious than most people realize. The American Society of Health System Pharmacists keeps a database of drug shortages, and it's growing month by month. And it's not just prescription medicine being affected. Over-the-counter drugs are also caught in the supply chain mess. The disturbing fact is that many of the active ingredients in common medications are produced in overseas facilities now facing major production setbacks. A pharmacist friend confided that even staple painkillers, allergy tablets, and digestive remedies are already arriving late. According to industry data, the pharmaceutical supply chain is functioning at only 60% capacity due to new regulations, transport delays, and raw material bottlenecks. This means higher costs and fewer options on pharmacy shelves. It's not limited to drugs either. Everyday first aid items are also showing signs of shortage. Things like bandages, antibiotic creams, thermometers, and even hydrogen peroxide are harder to find. The smart move is to assemble a complete first aid kit right now. Stock it with pain relievers such as acetaminophen and ibuprofen, antihistamines for allergies, stomach relief medications, and core wound care products. An emergency medical technician passed on a critical piece of advice. Rotate your supplies every 6 months. Use up the older stock first and replace it with new items so you always have fresh and effective supplies. For storage, always keep medications in their original bottles with the expiration date visible and store them in a cool, dry spot. Definitely not in the bathroom where humidity can ruin them. Here's something most people overlook. Generic drugs often last longer on the shelf compared to name brands, and they're much cheaper. It's wise to stock up on generics while you still can. Item 7. Light bulbs and electrical, the power play. Next, let's turn to something that literally keeps your home illuminated. Light bulbs and electrical accessories. This shortage is already becoming apparent. The surprising truth is that most light bulbs and electrical hardware are manufactured abroad. Recent trade disruptions have cut shipments to U.S. retailers by 45%. I spoke with a hardware store owner who showed me his supply numbers. LED bulbs were down by 50% from normal stock. Electrical outlets and switches were backlogged for weeks. Extension cords, something many of us take for granted, are already turning into hot commodities. What many people don't realize is that the transition to LED lighting, which was supposed to prevent shortages, has created its own problems. LED bulbs require rare earth minerals controlled by just a handful of nations. Pricing data confirms the pressure. LED bulbs are up 18%. Outlets have climbed 25%. And specialty bulbs like three-way or dimmable versions are becoming harder to find. The smart move is to stockpile the exact bulbs your home uses. Go through each fixture and buy 2 or 3 backups. Don't forget about outdoor lights, garage fixtures, or specialty ones like refrigerator bulbs. An electrician gave me a golden tip. LED bulbs can last 25 years, so buying them now is basically a long-term insurance policy against shortages and price spikes. For storage, keep bulbs in their original boxes and lay them flat in a shallow bin or drawer. This prevents damage and makes it simple to grab the right one when needed. Bonus advice from a prepper professional. Add essential electrical items to your emergency supplies. Things like electrical tape, wire connectors, and a simple voltage tester can be incredibly helpful in urgent situations. Item 8. Pet supplies. Don't forget furry family. Now let's focus on our pets, because this category is under some of the toughest strain right now. My research uncovered an alarming truth. Pet food relies on ingredients sourced from multiple countries, and recent agricultural problems have disrupted the flow of those supplies. One major pet food company even announced it was cutting production because of ingredient shortages. Here's something concerning I learned while investigating. Many pet foods contain proteins and grains that overlap with human food production. When demand for human food rises, pet food manufacturing often takes a back seat. Veterinary reports are already showing pet owners having difficulty finding their animal's usual food. Quickly switching diets can cause digestive distress for pets, making this more than just an inconvenience. It's a health issue. But the problem isn't only food. Pet medications, supplements, treats, and even basic items like leashes and toys are being disrupted. Here's how cautious pet owners are responding. They're stockpiling at least 3 months' worth of their pet's usual food. If they own multiple animals, they calculate each pet's needs separately. They're also securing vital pet medications, including flea preventatives and prescriptions recommended by their veterinarians. A veterinarian offered this practical advice. Always check expiration dates when stockpiling food and rotate supplies by using older products first, replacing them regularly to keep everything fresh. Another storage hack: transfer dry pet food into airtight containers right after opening the bag. This prevents pests and keeps nutrition intact. Extra advice that could save your pet's life. Store copies of your pet's medical history and vaccination records with your emergency supplies. If you need to move quickly or find emergency veterinary help, this information is essential. Item 9. Appliance parts and filters. The maintenance crisis. Here's something most homeowners rarely think about until disaster strikes. Appliance filters and parts. Supply chain reports now show that this area is suffering major interruptions. The truth is sobering. The water filter for your dishwasher, the air filter in your refrigerator, and even specialized light bulbs inside appliances are all made overseas, and long shipping delays are causing big shortages. I spoke with a repair technician recently who explained that simple replacement parts, which once arrived in a few days, now take weeks or even months to obtain. Some parts can't be sourced at all. The problem is made worse by the fact that modern appliances are built with unique, brand-specific parts. You can't simply swap them out with a universal version. They have to match your exact model. Industry statistics reveal that appliance part availability has dropped 35% compared to pre-pandemic levels, while prices for basic replacements have surged by around 28%. Smart homeowners are preparing ahead. They're inspecting their appliances now, figuring out which filters, bulbs, and parts are required, and building a 6-month to 1-year reserve of those supplies. Here's a pro tip from an appliance repair specialist. Photograph your appliance model numbers and the corresponding part numbers, then keep those photos on your phone. When you need replacements, reordering is straightforward. For organization, create a simple spreadsheet that records what parts you already have, when you bought them, and when they'll need replacement. This avoids overspending and ensures you won't run out unexpectedly. Maintenance tip that saves money in the long run. Change filters regularly. Even partially used filters are far more effective than clogged ones, and keeping up with this schedule prevents larger, costly breakdowns. Item 10. Candles and emergency lighting. The power backup. Now let's look at one category that becomes incredibly valuable when the lights go out. candles and backup lighting. And unfortunately, this area is also being hit hard by global disruptions. The troubling fact is that most candle wax comes from petroleum byproducts. With oil prices fluctuating wildly, the cost of producing candles has been rising quickly. Meanwhile, emergency lighting products often rely on batteries or electronic components, both of which are caught in the current shortages. During my research, I uncovered an eye-opening detail. Candle sales have surged by 40% since 2023 as more people prepare for emergencies, yet production has failed to keep pace with the rising demand. Recent retail figures also show significant shortages in flashlights, lanterns, and portable radios. A local camping store manager even admitted they are experiencing record demand while struggling to restock. But here's what experienced preppers understand. Relying solely on candles isn't enough. A well-rounded emergency lighting plan includes LED flashlights, solar-powered lanterns, and hand-crank radios. These options are safer and more dependable than open flames. The strategic move is to build a variety: candles for light and warmth, flashlights for targeted illumination, solar lanterns for extended outages, and a backup supply of batteries for everything. A preparedness expert offered this critical tip: avoid cheap candles. Bargain candles burn unevenly, create excess smoke, and pose fire hazards. Instead, invest in high-quality candles with natural wax and lead-free wicks. A smart storage habit is to keep candles in a cool, dry location away from direct sunlight, as heat can warp them and cause poor burning. And here's a safety reminder that could save your home. Never leave candles burning unattended. Always use proper holders and keep a fire extinguisher within reach. Item 11. Tools and hardware. The fix-it crisis. Let's move on to something every homeowner depends on: tools and basic hardware. Current supply chain reports show this category is being hit hard by disruptions. The reality is that most hand tools and hardware are manufactured overseas, and trade interruptions have left major retailers with thinning shelves. Industry data confirms availability has dropped 30% compared to typical levels. A hardware store owner shared his inventory system with me, and it was alarming. Basic fasteners like screws, bolts, and nails are back-ordered for weeks. Power tool accessories are nearly impossible to replenish, and even simple hand tools are arriving late. This problem becomes more serious when you think about everyday repairs. You can't wait weeks for supply chains when your faucet is dripping or your door handle breaks. You need parts right away. Price increases are making the situation worse. Basic screws and nails are up 22%. Power tool attachments rose 18%. And specialty tools are becoming costly luxuries. The smartest strategy for homeowners is to assemble a solid toolkit now, prioritizing versatile tools like a quality hammer, a multi-bit screwdriver, an adjustable wrench, and a measuring tape. These essentials can handle most household problems. A contractor passed along an important piece of advice: buy durable, high-quality tools once instead of wasting money replacing cheap ones repeatedly. Reliable tools can last for decades. For organization, use clear-labeled containers for small hardware like screws and nails. This not only prevents buying duplicates, but also speeds up repairs when problems arise. Another simple hack is to fix small issues right away. A wobbly screw or tiny leak can escalate into serious expensive damage if ignored. With the right tools on hand, you can stop problems early. Item 12. Fabrics and textiles. The comfort crisis. Picture this. My friend Sarah in Portland spent 4 hours driving to 3 different stores just to find basic white towels. What did she find? Empty shelves and towels priced at $60 that once cost $25. The reality is grim. Textile production in Vietnam and Bangladesh has fallen by 35% since December, leaving U.S. retailers scrambling to find stock. Here's another shocking story from Detroit. A hotel manager admitted they've begun rationing towels for guests because replacement costs have tripled. Meanwhile, my neighbor in Phoenix discovered that her favorite brand of bed sheets had completely vanished. Not just from Target and Walmart, but even from Amazon. The reason? The global cotton shortage is hitting much harder than anyone anticipated. Here's the action plan. Visit estate sales and thrift shops immediately. High-quality vintage linens are often better made than newer ones, and you can usually get them at a fraction of the price. Stick to neutral shades as they pair well with everything. A clever tip from my housekeeper friend Maria: store your linens with dryer sheets tucked in. This prevents them from developing a stale or musty odor over time. Trust me, when the cold months arrive and you're in need of extra blankets, you'll be grateful you stocked up in advance. Item 13. Garden and outdoor supplies. The growing crisis. This one left me stunned. Just last week in Austin, Texas, a master gardener named Bob showed me his receipts. In 2023, he paid $12.99 for a standard bag of fertilizer. In 2025, that same bag costs $31.50. But it gets worse. Seed packets are disappearing faster than concert tickets. My sister in Nashville called me in tears because the tomato seeds she plants every spring were completely sold out everywhere. Here's the real story. China provides 60% of the world's fertilizer components, and recent restrictions have thrown the market into chaos. A nursery owner in Denver passed along an alarming warning from his supplier. 2025 could be the year when home gardening shifts from being a money-saving practice to a luxury hobby. Think about that. With grocery prices continuing to climb, your backyard could become your family's food source, but only if you prepare now. Buy heirloom seeds immediately. They regenerate themselves, so a single purchase can last forever. A tip from my gardening mentor. Start with fast-growing greens like lettuce and spinach. You'll be eating fresh produce in just 30 days. And when tomatoes hit $8 per pound, you'll be glad you acted early. Item 14. Craft and office supplies. The productivity crisis. Here's a story straight out of Chicago. Jessica, an elementary school teacher, had to spend her own money buying 200 pencils because the school couldn't get any. Even worse, a box of Crayola crayons that once cost $3.99 now sells for $7.49. If you can find it at all. The shocking truth is that 85% of school and office supplies are imported, and shipping delays have created a perfect storm. My friend Mike, who runs a small business in Seattle, revealed that Office Depot has already begun rationing basic pens and markers. Parents in Miami are reporting chaos during back-to-school shopping, with shelves stripped bare. But there's still a workaround. Dollar stores are still carrying supplies at old prices, for now. Stock up on pens, pencils, glue sticks, markers, and construction paper. These items don't expire and become invaluable when shortages deepen. A teacher friend gave me this tip. Store everything in clear containers so kids can easily see what's available. It cuts down on waste and makes homework time far smoother. When the school year starts and supplies vanish, you'll be the parent with everything ready. Item 15. Baby and child supplies. The family crisis. This heartbreaking story comes from Atlanta. A new mom named Rachel drove to 12 stores last Tuesday trying to find her baby's specific formula. Every store was out. She ended up paying $45 online for a can that used to cost $18. The FDA's formula shortage database confirms shortages are climbing again. And parents' panic buying is making things even worse. A pediatrician in Los Angeles shared troubling news. Diaper manufacturers are quietly shrinking package sizes while keeping prices the same. Meanwhile, a neighbor in Dallas found that Huggies size 3 had completely disappeared from 3 separate Target locations. The frightening truth is that babies can't easily switch formulas without health risks, and running out of the right size diapers can turn into an emergency fast. The smart strategy is clear. Parents should stock 1 month ahead on formula, diapers, wipes, and any specialized baby gear they rely on. A pro tip from my sister, who is a pediatric nurse: rotate your stockpile. Always use the oldest supplies first and replace them. And keep your pediatrician's number handy in case you need urgent guidance when essentials run out. Item 16. Automotive supplies. The transportation crisis. Here's a shocking story out of Phoenix. My mechanic friend Carlos showed me his latest invoice for basic motor oil. In just 6 months, the price jumped from $24.99 to $41.99. And that's not the only increase. Air filters that once cost $12 are now $22. Even worse, he's seeing 3-week delays on simple parts like windshield wipers. And listen to this. One woman in Minneapolis called her dealership to schedule an oil change and was told there were no openings for 2 months because they couldn't get the filters. Meanwhile, my brother in Houston uncovered something even more disturbing. His 2019 truck requires a specific type of oil. And when he checked 3 different auto parts stores, all were sold out. This forced him to drive past due oil changes, a risky move that could ruin his engine. But here's the safeguard. Stockpile your vehicle's essentials now. Open your owner's manual. Note the exact oil type, filter numbers, and fluid specifications. Then purchase a 6-month supply right away. Carlos offered a crucial piece of advice. Always choose a higher grade of oil than the minimum requirement. It offers better protection during shortages, and your engine will benefit long-term. Believe me, when you're staring at a $15,000 repair bill for a damaged engine, you'll regret not stocking up on basic maintenance supplies. Item 17. Construction and repair materials. The fix-it crisis. Here's a story that will make homeowners cringe. Steve, a Portland resident, needed simple white caulk to repair his bathroom last month. That same tube that once cost $3.99 now sells for $9.49. Even worse, he had to drive to 7 different stores before finally finding one. A contractor friend in Denver confirmed something troubling. Lumber prices may have leveled off, but essential repair goods like wood glue, primer, and sandpaper are becoming scarce. Now picture this nightmare. Your toilet begins leaking on a Sunday when all the hardware stores are closed. By Monday, the items you need are back-ordered for weeks. That's the harsh reality. Prepared homeowners are taking action by assembling emergency repair kits that include bathroom caulk, wood filler, small cans of paint for touch-ups, and all-purpose adhesives that can fix nearly anything. A valuable tip from my handyman father. Buy paints and stains in neutral tones. They can be used anywhere in the home, preventing small problems from escalating into large and expensive repairs. A $50 investment in essential supplies today can save thousands of dollars in damages tomorrow. Item 18. Electronics and cables. The connection crisis. Brace yourself for this story from San Diego. My friend Maria's phone charger broke last Wednesday. After searching at Target, Best Buy, and 3 different phone stores, she finally found one charger priced at $39.99. A cable that used to cost $12.99. And here's the shocking part. It was the last one on the shelf. Meanwhile, a student in Boston shared a terrifying story. His laptop charger died during finals week, and replacements were either sold out or priced at $89 for generic versions that weren't guaranteed to work. Here's the reality. 90% of electronic accessories are produced in Asia, and recent shipping delays have created a perfect storm of shortages. To make matters worse, proprietary technology means every device requires its own unique cable that can't easily be substituted. The survival strategy is simple. Review all your devices right now. Phones, tablets, laptops. Note what charging cables and adapters they need, and purchase spares immediately. My IT friend Josh recommends buying braided cables. They last up to 3 times longer than cheap versions. Because when your primary charger fails, you'll pay almost anything for a replacement. Losing access to your phone feels like being stranded without a lifeline. Item 19. Laundry and fabric care. The clean clothes crisis. Now let's cover something you rely on every day. Laundry products. Recent supply chain data reveals this category is facing big disruptions. Laundry detergent, fabric softener, and stain removers all depend on chemicals sourced internationally, and those supply lines are now strained. A supply chain manager shared a sobering fact with me. Laundry product manufacturing relies on the same chemical agents that other industries also need, which creates fierce competition for resources. Current pricing reports show detergent costs up 18%, fabric softeners climbing 15%, and specialty stain removers becoming pricier and harder to find. Smart households are adjusting by purchasing concentrated versions of these products. They stretch further, provide more loads per bottle, and save storage space, making them ideal for stockpiling. The most efficient approach is to focus on versatile cleaners that handle multiple types of fabrics and stains, ensuring you need fewer products to stay fully prepared. A reliable all-purpose detergent handles the majority of laundry needs, which cuts down on the number of specialized products you need to store. A professional cleaner shared this tip. Powdered detergents usually last longer than liquid ones and perform just as effectively for most washing tasks. To prevent waste, keep all laundry products sealed tightly and stored at steady temperatures, since heat or cold can reduce their effectiveness and shorten their shelf life. Another money-saving strategy is to dilute fabric softener with water. Using it at half strength works just as well, effectively doubling your supply without sacrificing results. Item 20. Food storage and preservation. The kitchen crisis. Now let's focus on something that can save you money, reduce waste, and keep your household running smoothly. Food storage and preservation tools. This category is also being affected by supply chain problems that many people haven't noticed yet. Here's the truth. Containers, vacuum seal bags, and canning jars are made from materials now facing disruptions. During my research, I found something troubling. Supplies for food storage are dwindling just as interest in home preservation and preparedness is skyrocketing. Retail reports show prices for these items climbing 20% over the last year, and specialty preservation gear is becoming harder to buy at reasonable costs. But here's what preparedness-minded households already know. Proper food storage extends the lifespan of groceries, saves money, and gives flexibility when shelves go empty. The smart approach is to invest in versatile options that cover multiple food types. Airtight containers, vacuum sealing systems, and basic canning supplies quickly pay for themselves by reducing waste. A food preservation expert emphasized this. Glass containers are worth the investment. They don't hold odors, last indefinitely, and can be used for both storage and reheating. Another efficient habit is to standardize container sizes. This makes stacking and organization simpler while also making replacements easier. And here's the ultimate money-saving hack. Storing food properly can extend its freshness for weeks or even months. Think about how much money you lose every year to spoiled groceries. If you put that same amount into quality storage supplies, the savings will pay for themselves. So there you have it. 20 household essentials now threatened by supply chain issues. These aren't random guesses. They come straight from real shipping data, manufacturer reports, and insider knowledge from supply chain professionals. Remember, this isn't about panic buying or hoarding. It's about smart, steady preparation. Taking control where you can and shielding your family from empty shelves and sudden price hikes. Here's your action plan. Begin with the items your family uses daily. Choose quality over sheer quantity and build up your supply gradually over the coming months. If this information opened your eyes to what's ahead, hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. I'll keep tracking these trends and sharing new insights as they unfold. Leave a comment telling me which of the 20 items shocked you the most. And don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. Everyone deserves a chance to prepare before it's too late. And stay tuned, because next week I'll be revealing insider storage techniques that preppers use to maximize space and keep supplies fresh for years. You won't want to miss it. Stay ready, stay wise, and I'll catch you in the next one.